It is the seventh week of the LCS with coverage brought to you by Alienware. I'm joined by Revenge, who initially declined this interview.
I didn't actually. Okay, my manager declined it for me because he knew I would be really upset after this loss.
Okay, so I got this message that said, I said, revenge, please. And then this says, no revenge. And then I asked if they approved it, and they said yes. And then your manager came up, and I said, no revenge? Really? And he said, yeah, he's not feeling it.
Well, he didn't even ask me yet, so he just assumed. To be honest, I'm pretty triggered. I felt like it's just a lot of mistakes that happen in practice show up on stage, and a lot of them showed up. Like, we had a cleaner early game than usual, and we had a lead, and we had the chance to just have a really smooth game, but we just kept making too many bad mistakes and just kind of throwing fights, really. And we got outscaled. I mean, Caitlyn, like, whenever you're playing Varus, if you're versing the AD carry that's building like full crit, they're obviously just going to be 10 times more useful late game. So I knew as like we kept throwing fights, I'm like, yeah, this game's going to be fucking hard. Oh, sorry. I don't know if I can swear, but
It's after the first 30 seconds. YouTube won't demonetize.
cool. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard, and it was. So, yeah, it's just frustrating to lose games like that.
So obviously, going into this game, the chances at playoffs are pretty slim. Obviously, this makes it, I think, not likely at all.
We can't do it anymore.
I think it's eliminated. Yeah, but it's still, I'm sure, even more disappointing just to have a game go down like that.
Yeah.
You have struggled for many years now in the LCS, Revenge, and I'm kind of curious, like,
Yeah.
how are you holding up after all this time?
I mean, it's been a huge learning experience to be like a competitor. I've never really been a competitor before in anything in my life. Most of my life I just did school, and I was happy because that was successful for me, right? But losing a lot has taught me a lot as a person, and I am proud of how I've improved, especially this year. I do feel like I've really leveled up my play, and I am proud of that. It does hurt. Obviously, it's not enough to win. Like, be where I want to be. Like, obviously, I have big goals. I think most pro players who take their job really seriously do, you know? And yeah, it's just like another year or another split at least where that's not met. So obviously, it's been hard on me, but at some point, I do like shift my expectations as a player and what I'm playing for and how to keep myself motivated. Like, those are all things that I've learned. So like to keep up my level of performance. And yeah, I mean, I try to be optimistic. I am a pretty optimistic person. So I do always think that anything can happen. And yeah.
When you've gone through so many splits like this, you know, how do you say you're optimistic, but how do you keep going? Because I know it's got to be frustrating to just end up in these positions at the end of the split so frequently.
Yeah, I mean, I always like to focus on what I can do to change things. I think that's what's helped me get better and better every split, which I think I have. I'll feel the worst if I feel like I've gotten worse and I'm not at a level to compete in LCS and I'm losing. But I feel like I am still at a really good level to compete, and that's what matters a lot to me right now, and that's what holds me together. And honestly, it's like I kind of gather a lot of inspiration from other players' careers. Players like Kingen, for example. He had like one of the worst records in LCK on DRX one year, and then the next year he went to Worlds and won, you know? And like, I just think being a pro and being in these positions, it's what, like, to get out of them, it's really up to you. Like, if you want to accept where you are and accept that, like, you know, things suck, you got unlucky or you're just bad, whatever, and be stuck in this position. But I know that I do feel like I'm doing the right things to try to make it better. And that's all I could do. Like, all I could do is focus on myself, you know? Yeah.
There are a lot of people, including myself, who have been fans of your presence in the LCS, both in terms of your gameplay, which I think you've tried to push at times what top lane looks like, and then also just your personality and your presence. And I want to see you continue to play for many years to come. What does your commitment to competition look like? As these splits start to pile up. I don't know if you're like, fuck it, I'm in for another 3 years, or if you're like, this is the year where you're like, this has got to happen. I don't know where your mind's at.
Well, I think if I can keep my level of play and keep improving it and really show that on, a winning team, like make my team a winning team, I'll show that I'm like the best top laner in LCS. And I think I can do that. I don't want to give up until I do that. And like I said, as long as I know I'm improving every year, which I really know I am, like without a doubt, I really know I am, and I can compete with everyone in the LCS, I will not give up. So I think that as long as I keep showing that, I hope that orgs trust in me to keep competing. Because at the end of the day, it's not like all my choice, right? Like other people have to really want me to compete. So I have to keep showing what I can do to compete, basically. And I think I'm doing that, so I'm going to keep trying. I really hate having a long off season. I generally play a lot during my off season to keep up with like any meta and stuff, but yeah, I really just want to reach my goal, at least my first goal, which is to play on a big stage. So I want to keep working hard. Yeah.
It's good to hear, because I know a lot of people really do want to see you find that success. So is there anything you want to say to any of the fans out there?
Well, one, to the fans who think I'm shit because I lose a lot, I'll change your mind one day, and you guys motivate me. I understand, And two, to the people who do really believe in me and think that I am a good player and that I deserve better or whatever, I also appreciate you because I hear the things you say, and that also does keep me motivated too. So I appreciate you guys too. And I will come back.
Thank you so much for the interview. Looking forward to seeing what you guys are able to do for the next 4 games, and then obviously as we head into summer. So I do appreciate you taking it, especially after a tough loss, even when your manager says you're maybe not up for it. It's nice of you.
It's all good. Thanks, Travis, for having me, as always.
You can check out the rest of my coverage of all things LCS right here on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching that video. I'm going to be heading to Spring Finals, and I hope to see you there. And the whole reason I'll be able to be there is because Alienware sponsors the channel and allows me to do things like go to Spring Finals. So if you're in Raleigh, come by, say hi, and shout out Alienware. And then also go purchase some Alienware products at alienware.com/Travis. Purchase all their products. That, within reason. Whatever your means are. I'm not trying to get you into any kind of debt, but they got great products. So if you're going to purchase something, just go there. There's a link in the description.